Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our Thursday night book study. I am Michelle Stuchel, Senior Ruby with Plexus, and I am so excited for this book study, this chapter. I hope you guys have been loving this book as much as I have, because it really is the foundation. If you really put these things into practice in your business, you will start to explode, because these are the nuts and bolts, the skills that you need. Remember, 20% of this business is skill and 80% is mindset, right? And so she deals with both of these things. Okay, chapter 7. What is the name of this chapter? The close, right? Power close. How much time did she talk about closing?
None.
You know what she talked about? Handling objections. That is how you close people. You handle their objections, and objections should be your best friend, because not only objections give you insight into what the person is thinking. Okay, so objections are your best friend. I have a whole training on objections. It's in Freedom Team, and I actually called it that. Your best friend, objections, and how you can handle them. Handling objections is just a skill. Did you realize that there was no emotion in this chapter? No emotion. All she did was bullet points. She wasn't shocked. She didn't say, "Oh my gosh, I hope nobody asks you this question." No. She just had a response. She had an answer to every single objection. And honestly, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, the objections are always the same. If you've been on one of Christina's vision calls, Brittany's vision calls, my vision calls, we go over these objections. And it's just a matter of being able to handle them that will enable you to close the deal. I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to write this down. Think about this. Do you get presented one objection more often than the others? Because I can guarantee you, if you do, it means you have a lack of belief in that area. Now, there's no judgment in that, no judgment whatsoever. What that means is that's actually exciting, because you can build your belief in that area. But you need to really take stock. If you're getting a lot of cost objections, then I can pretty much guarantee you think the products are too expensive. If you're getting a lot of "I'm too busy" objections, it's because you're saying in your mind, "Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I'm homeschooling my kids. I've got laundry. How am I going to get this done?" Do you see what I'm saying? The objection you're going to get is the one that you have in your brain, because as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. Okay, so let's talk about how she handles all of these. I mean, this chapter is so good, you guys. If you can get this, this is just another skill for you to learn. If these things make you uncomfortable, if these objections make you uncomfortable on how to handle them, you just found out what you're going to spend your next couple weeks training on. If it's about cost, you go into Freedom Team and you go into Facebook and YouTube and you look up everything about cost objections. Emily Gibson has one, Emily Roberts has one, Amber Miller has one, I have one. If it is about time, you just look and you study and you make it a part, because these are all skills. Okay. He starts off by saying, when you have an objection, of course you always want to start with the feel, felt, found method, okay? Because remember, the two things that people want to know from you are, can I trust you and can you help me? And if in the feel, felt, found method allows them to feel that you care for them and that you can help them. I totally know how you feel about the price. I felt the same way. And what I realized is if I was going to go for these products, I wanted to have them paid for. So in my first month, I made almost $500. I totally know how you feel. I was homeschooling my kids at the time, and I had a toddler running around. I was actually looking to take things off of my plate. But what I found was I naturally talked to people, and just about everyone around me didn't feel good. So it just became part of my day, and I just set my intention that way. I totally know how you feel. But what I found was, what's another objection? But what I found was, this is not about sales. Nobody wants to be sold to. I'm simply offering information. And honestly, my job description is I just offer solutions. And if people want it, they'll take it. Do you see what I'm saying? Feel, felt, found takes away the sales approach. It lets them know that you hear them and feel validated. Because again, remember, this is a relationship business. If you click into convincing mode, you've crossed a line. This is about handling an objection and uncovering their belief, right? Okay, so let's talk about this. And here's another thing. When you are looking at their objections, you are really, it's what they say and then what's behind what they say, okay? Like for example, how much does it cost? That's too expensive. What they are really saying is, I don't believe in the products. Because if people believed in the products, they would know this is not too expensive. Anybody that knows ingredients and knows what these do for the body, they know what an incredible deal $119.95 a month is for triplex, okay? They just don't have that belief. They don't know that they're gonna get their life back, okay? So think that's what they're thinking in the background. So I don't have enough money to get started. I loved Emily Gibson's answer. She said, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. We were actually up to our eyeballs in debt. But what I found was I couldn't afford not to. I couldn't afford not to invest in my health. My children didn't have a mother. I was depressed, anxious, overwhelmed. And because of this opportunity that came with it, not only do I have my health back and my life back, but I've been earning 6 figures and totally changed the trajectory of my family's future. That was handled well, right? Okay, I couldn't afford not to. Because you know that MasterCard commercial? What I have now is priceless. And I found that I'm actually saving money. I'm not spending money on things that didn't work. I'm not spending my time going to the doctor. I'm not spending my money on medicine, but I'm actually saving money and I'm actually making money. Okay. Let's see, the next one. How does it work? What would I be doing? This really isn't an objection. You just got to know, you know what? You just keep it simple for people. Terry's a master of this. You know what? There's only 2 things in Plexus that make you money. And it's a simple set of skills that anyone can learn. Talking to new people about Plexus and then following up with people about Plexus. That's it. Simple set of skills that anybody can learn. It is our job to demystify. And if you're Plexus puking on them, you're going to deal with a lot of vomit. So just don't do that. Okay. Keep it simple for them. Okay. How do I make money? Is this real? I'll kind of group this in with, is this a pyramid scam? I love what she said. Pyramid scam? Is that what you're looking for? I don't think you're really looking for that, because pyramid scam is when you pay for something and you don't get anything. We actually have an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, and people's lives are being changed. So, you know, did you remember how she made a joke out of that? And how do I make money? You know, that's a great question. I can send you a video, but we get paid 11 different ways. I get checks just about every week, and it's really incredible. Keep it simple, okay? I'm so busy. I think we already covered that. It's just a matter of being intentional, because we have people all around us. This is one of my favorite ways to handle this objection, okay? So Elise has heard this 5,000 times. I say, you know what? The more you realize that these products deal with the roots of most of our health issues, you know, when you buy a white car, or if you're talking to a mom, you know, like I have an Odyssey, and when I got my first Odyssey, all I saw on the road were Odysseys. Has that ever happened to you? Inevitably, they'll start laughing. Yeah, I have a white car too. That's all I see on the road. Well, you know what's going to happen, because this is normally what happens. You're going to start thinking of, oh, you know, people's names are going to start coming into your head. Oh, this person has migraines. Oh, this person has thyroid issues. Oh, this person's diabetic. Oh, this person has autoimmune issues. And I will literally go through 10 different scenarios, and I'll say to them, you're going to start thinking of these people, and you have something on your hands that can help them. And it's just a matter of being intentional and saying, hey, this may or may not be for you, but are you willing to check it out? Oh, well, that was easy. It's not about being busy or adding something to your plate. You're already talking to these people, right? Okay, I'm not a salesperson. Awesome. Who wants to be sold to? In fact, if you're, uh, I'm not looking for salespeople. My job description is actually to love people and serve them well. That's my job description. And we're all about providing solutions. I find someone's needs and see how what we have may be a good fit for them. And I just love people. And if they want to take it, that's awesome. If you're a good salesperson, you can maybe get a good trip, make enough money to take your family on a trip. If you love people and serve people well and raise up leaders, you can gain financial freedom. So this is not about sales. Let's see. Talked about the pyramid. I don't want to bug my friends and family. I'm so glad. That's, again, the salesy thing. What they're saying is that they don't believe in network marketing. That's what they're really saying. And that's when you build their belief. You know what? This is not about bugging people. Not at all. I mean, I know what I have on my hands is powerful and can help a lot of people, but I just find out what people's needs are. Do you see how this is just, you're getting the tools in your tool belt to be able to use them and handle their objections, to flip the narrative in their heads and present a different reality, okay? And then no doesn't mean no. She ends this chapter by saying, no, when someone says no, thank you, or they go silent, please realize that doesn't mean no. It means not now, but it doesn't mean no. One of the girls that joined me last year, I'd been following up for 2 years. Last month she joined me, 2 years. Do you want to know how many crickets I had from her? Hundreds, maybe not hundreds, lots of crickets. It's just a matter of following up. Everybody's got a timetable. Now, that doesn't mean you just wait for people to come to you, because that's just dumb. But I'm fiery tonight, aren't I, Becky? You still do the follow-up, but everyone's got a timetable, okay? And April's training on that is fantastic about follow-up. Let's see. I think I'm going to be quiet now because I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what objection has been the hardest for you, and what have you learned as a result from this chapter?
I'll go first. The one that I get all the time for people that are in my warm market was they don't want to bug their friends and family. And I just basically said, well, why would you want to have your family and friends suffer? Like, you love them, right? So, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm like, be selfish. I'm like, you're feeling good. Why wouldn't you want to share that with the people that you love? So that's normally what I say. But that was the hardest one. It's like, why would you not want to share it? I mean, when I started, I didn't start to share, but it was like, light bulb, hello. So.
That's a great way to frame it, Steph. Brittany does that too. She says, when I started these products, I realized I wanted everyone to feel as good as I did. That's what she does in her 3-way calls. It's brilliant. Here's another one, another way of saying it. When people say, oh, I don't want network marketing, I say this. Okay, have you ever been to a restaurant where the service was really great and the food was just superb? Sure, everyone has been, right? Okay, now have you ever been to a restaurant where the service was awful and the food was awful? Yeah. Well, did you stop going to restaurants because you had 1 or 2 bad experiences? Then everybody goes, ha ha ha, you're right. No, that's a good way of looking at it. Everyone can agree, everyone can relate to that, right? So just because you may have had a bad experience, that doesn't mean it always has to be that way.
Yeah, I typically get the same thing, people saying, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to, and that's actually what I told April when I first signed up was, I'm a horrible salesperson, so I don't plan on doing this as a business. And she was like, that's fine, whatever. And she let me kind of hang out for a couple weeks. And so I always tell people, I don't think of myself as a salesperson. All I'm doing is sharing what Plexus has done for me. And, I'm literally posting what I would post anyway. And you can't help but get people and, excited about it when they see those posts. So that's literally all I'm doing. I'm not selling anything. I'm just sharing how Plexus has changed my life. And it's easy. And so
I love that, Charity. I'm telling you, at Ruby Retreat, Wendy Larson opened the whole Ruby Retreat. She said this. This is what she opened with. She said, if you want your business to explode, love and serve people well. That's your job description, ladies. To offer solutions and love and serve people well.
I'll say this, when I read this chapter, I was like everything in that chapter. Like that's exactly, I had every single objection, the whole thing. So to me now, and that's what I tell everybody, and they'll say they're not interested in the business. I say, you don't have to be. But in a few weeks, I say, you don't even really have to reach out if you don't want to. But in a few weeks, you're going to be around your friends and family, and they're going to start seeing the difference in you. And they're going to ask, and you're going to tell them because you're going to start feeling better. And it's just going to come natural. And I mean, so many people come back to me like within 2 or 3 weeks, and they're like, okay, I want to get on board. I want to reach out. I want to help people. So, I mean, if they're taking their products like they're supposed to, then, I mean, it just kind of happens naturally. Most of my people anyway. I don't know. That's not good with me anyway.
That's brilliant, Terry. I love that. Do you notice how she primed them for what was going to happen?
Yeah, I really liked that, Terry. I haven't gotten it as much, but I will say this is true about like the objection you get is the belief. It goes back to your belief because it's all about your posture when you're sharing with someone. Because whatever area you're weak in as far as your belief goes, and for me it was, well, I'm never going to make enough money to stay home. Like I'm never going to make enough money to quit my teaching job. That was me, like in the back of my mind. And so the objection I got all the time were cost objections. So, now, and that has gotten better. So you're right. Like it's all about belief. But Terry, I liked that as well. Like, okay, that's fine. You're not into the business, but I'm telling you, give this a month and you're going to be telling everybody.
They do.
I love that too. I also like where she says regarding the money aspect, if people don't have enough money at the time when they start, offer ideas. I actually had somebody start with me and they didn't have enough money to start, so she sold a bunch of her purses to get her welcome pack. And she promised herself when she hit a certain rank, she was going to buy a new one. So just offering those ideas. I didn't even realize that I had done that when I did it with that person, but I need to do that a lot more. I really like that, offering the ideas and solutions and in a non-invasive way. Like, you don't need to say, well, I saw you at Chick-fil-A 3 times last week, but in a loving way, obviously.
Right.
And just sharing how much it has saved in other areas.
I actually love that objection, Celise, because what I did, I didn't have the money for these products, so I cut my cable off. So when people tell me they don't have enough money, I'm like, perfect. Let's give you some ideas, just like your friend, right?
Right.
Yep. I think that's like the best objection ever because I totally relate to that one.
Right. And it's
I love
so
that,
crazy.
Tracy.
I love it.
I love that, Tracy. Well, here's the deal. Where people's treasure is, that's where their heart is. And so if they're not willing to put their treasure in this, it means their heart's not in it. So it's a belief issue 100% of the time. They don't think they're going to get results. They don't see what it's going to do for them.
Mine was the cost thing too. When Christina was talking to me about signing up, I didn't have the money. And so I was selling paparazzi at the time, and I sold all of my paparazzi to be able to sign up with Plexus. And so now I don't sell paparazzi anymore.
That's amazing. Christy, how did she do that with you? Tell me what she said. Do you remember?
For one, she said, you know, is there anything that you can sell? Is there any way that you can make extra money? And that's when paparazzi popped up. And then she said, if you'll give me 90 days to help you make the money back, if not, if you don't make it back, then I will pay you back. And so that right there was like, oh, well, she believes in this product so much, then maybe I should too. And of course, within a couple of weeks, I made that money back. So it wasn't, but the paparazzi thing, I did sell a lot of it to get started.
That's awesome, Christy. So do you think that Christina Williams has any doubt in our products?
No.
No. So she can say things like that. So
Yes.
if you don't feel like you can say things like that, check your belief. I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I'm just, we do surgery for a reason, right? We want to get to the root to make you successful. Yes. So if you can't say that with 100% certainty, you know where you need to focus on feeding your faith and starving the fear.
Right.
Like for me, I did not want to be associated with network marketing. Slimy, gross. My husband's an assistant U.S. attorney. Are you kidding? Sales, puke. Did not want to do that. Now I know that it is one of the most beautiful industries on the entire planet because it's all about offering hope and people to people and loving and serving people. I love it. But that was my thing. That was my objection.
My objection when I first started was I didn't know if the products would work. And my reason for that is because I tried Plexus 4 years ago. And the girl that I did it through, first of all, I only bought the pink drink because that's really the only thing she offered to me. There was no triplex, no nothing. It was just the pink drink and nothing else. I got no training. I got no follow-up. It was, there's your product. Thanks for joining. And that was it. So I was on the product like 6 weeks and I'm like, okay, this is stupid. I'm not noticing anything. So I stopped. And so when I started again, I was like, okay, I'll try it. You know, Jackie, wouldn't take no for an answer. So I tried it. And, and I, within days, I was feeling so much better. So my objection for that totally did a 180, completely did a 180. So, but I'm very frugal by nature. So I think Michelle, you called it out. I think the one that I struggle with is the money because I'm like, I know that everybody's, money's tight. And so I have to really consciously work on how I set up the posture for that when I'm talking to people, because I know that's the one, because I know just what that's my default is, ooh, that's a whole lot of money. Ooh, don't know about that. But like you said, how can you not? When you feel, and I totally say that, what Brittany says with people, how can I not tell people, because I want them to feel how I feel. And I feel better at 53 than I did at 40. And I'm not kidding you. I was a tired mama at 40. Kat can attest to that. So
Me too. Me too, Nancy.
Me too.
Carrie, I love what you wrote. She sold her Impala to afford her welcome pack. I mean, look, when people want it, they will do whatever it takes. And here's the deal. Okay, you guys know, if you follow me, that I love the Jesus Storybook Bible. It's the most anointed thing ever. And we read today how the woman with the issue of blood, doesn't say that in that Bible, she pushed through to Jesus. And she said, if I can just touch him, right? Because she knew, like she knew if she could just do it, whatever it took, she's going to do that. And it's that same hunger. Whatever it takes, I'm going to do. When you believe in something, you'll do whatever it takes. So our job is to show them to increase that belief and then to offer some options. I love that. What about, was there any objection that you guys could think of that was not in this chapter?
I have one. I actually have, the objection is I've tried it before and it didn't work. And because that's actually my story, is 4 years ago, I tried it and I stopped it for whatever reasons. So I don't know how to go from there.
Perfect. Okay, so this is why I say that. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Becky. Okay, let's role play. Okay, you just told me that. So Becky, I'm so sorry that's happened. If you don't mind, I'd love to dig a little bit more. I'd love to ask you some questions, because what I have found is there's really only 4 or 5 reasons that the products don't work. I mean, it's science, and the science is sound and the products work. So these are, this is what I generally find. There wasn't enough communication between your sponsor and you, so couldn't troubleshoot. Don't know if you were on the right doses and then I would know, like, if you had autoimmune issues or whatever, if you're constipated, you're going to need 4 to 6 BioCleanse. If you had diarrhea, you need 1 or no. Do you see what I'm saying? So have to troubleshoot. I'd want to know, what I found is people aren't drinking enough water. It's not going to work. If they don't give it enough time, consistency, because people want a magic pill, and this is slow acting, effective process. It takes 90 days for your cells to regenerate. And consistency, because it's an everyday type of thing. And generally, Becky, what I've found is when people say that it didn't work, one of those issues were off. So like, I'm not here to place blame or anything like that, but I can guarantee you, if you give me 90 days and work with me for 90 days, you will start to see some results.
I like it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So again, and I've had that several times happen to me too. So you take, you show them the big picture of these. It's only these few reasons why it's not going to work. They work, but not if they stay in the bottle. But I can promise you, if we talk and if you communicate, and if we did this, I would want your commitment to communicate with me, because communication between the two of us is going to be your #1 predictor of success. That and your consistency. And if you do that, I can guarantee you will get the results that you need.
Michelle, really quick, what about for the people who have tried it for 90 days and didn't see any success? Would you then go back to just the dosages and communication?
Well, a lot of that is individualized. I mean, for example, what were their issues to begin with? Like, I'd have to know. Generally speaking, if they're not seeing anything in 90 days, their gut was so wrecked that they need months and months and months and months. And we needed to set that expectation at the very beginning. Like 2 Probio 5, 1 Slim, and 2 BioCleanse ain't going to cut it for them. Like, that's why it's so important to not just make a sale with a quick triplex, people, but set their expectations. Like, if you're talking to somebody that has rheumatoid arthritis or lupus or fibro, and they've had it for years and years and years, you need to set the expectation that, look, this is going to take months and months to turn the Titanic. You're going to need high dosages. You're going to need a lot of product support, depending on what they're able to start with, whether it's a 99 or a 199. But I want to set your expectation so you're not looking for a magic pill. And, I can give them a Wendy Carr-Larson story who almost quit after 7 weeks, or Tiffany Wilson, who was, months and went through an awful detox. But it is so important to set the expectation so they're not looking for a quick fix in a month. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And generally speaking, if they're not seeing something in 3 months, it's because they have serious, serious health issues.
Right. And they were coming, obviously they had tried it, gave it up. So it's kind of a little different, they're hesitant, obviously, to jump on board with us. Why is your team different from, my friend that I started with? So
sure.
Whole different set of belief and things. So
that's right.
I have one like that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I have one like that right now. A good friend of mine that I had reached out to recently, and she said the same thing. She said, I tried it several years ago. And she said, honestly, I tried it for a long time and felt like I got nowhere and I had no results. And so I asked her, what were the health issues? And she has PCOS and she has some other things going on. And I'm like, I can relate to the PCOS, as do I. And then she was also saying that, she had tried the triplex, had gotten off of that because she didn't like it. And then she was doing Slim and Accelerator, and then Slim and Block only. So she wasn't even using the whole system every single time. So I've been working with her, sending her informational videos. I invited her to the event tonight, and she's very open to hearing, but also at the same time skeptical, because she tried for, she said, almost 8 months-ish the first time and got no results. But Slim and Block isn't going to fix your PCOS.
That's right. And that's the thing. Like when you dig, that's the thing. Like we don't want to be accusatory, but you want to offer another perspective. That's the thing. I mean, I can guarantee most of the time they're not consistent. Like this is a perfect example. I was talking to a woman today. Oh, I'm drinking 80 ounces of water and da 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 da. And then I go back, okay, tell me exactly, I'm drinking plenty of water. Okay, tell me exactly how much water you're drinking. Oh, here's my bottle. It's 80 ounces. I probably drink this much a day. She probably was drinking 60 ounces of water. You all do the math. How much does she have to weigh for 60 ounces of water to be enough? 120 pounds. This woman is not 120 pounds. She needed to drink between 20 and 40 ounces more of water. Do you see what I'm saying? So without being a jerk, I can say, okay, so that's a great bottle. If you weigh 120 pounds, 60 ounces is enough. If you don't weigh 120 pounds, you need to do half of your body weight because all those toxins are going to stay in there. So 8 months, but she wasn't on the products that were going to do anything for it.
Sounds like my mom, Michelle. Remember that one?
Right, of course.
More than I've ever drank in my whole life. Yes.
Right.
2 glasses is far more than you've ever drank in your whole life.
That's right. Oh, bless it.
I just thought of one that I get sometimes is the subscription. Well, I just don't know that I want to have a subscription to anything because I've had subscriptions before, and I'm like, well, what was your subscription for? If it was for like a hair, it's always like a hair product or skincare product and they didn't get the results they wanted, or they had crazy rules about their subscription as far as you have to have this price or whatever it is. So they just had a bad experience. So something I've been doing is just asking more questions like, okay, well, what about the subscription makes you nervous? What is it that bothers you? Whatever, so that I can handle the actual objection, because usually it's not actually the subscription.
That's a great point. I love that, saying that. And I also like to tell people, like, look, you've got total control over this. And if you don't want a subscription, you don't have to have a subscription. But I do want you to understand something. Your microbiome can change in as little as 3 days. So what you don't want to happen is you don't want to go without your products and go back to ground zero, because it really can happen. And I've had several. Pam, do you remember ProBio 5 Leaders Retreat? I mean, what you don't want to happen is for you to run out of product. I've had that happen to me. It happened once and I will never run out of my product again. So just understand that the subscription can help alleviate that, and you have total and utter control over it. You can change it, alter it, do whatever you want to it, and there's no obligation.
I always like to say that it's like a Chewy subscription because most people have pets or are familiar with Chewy. And like Michelle said, you have total control. And they're like, oh, like a Chewy? Oh, I can change the date at any time. Oh, I can add anything to my order. I can take it away. I can push it out. I could move it up. When I put it that way, it's kind of like the light bulb goes off. Like, oh, it's like that? Okay, that's fine. That's cool. It's been something that's worked lately for me. So,
yeah.
So I think a lot of it. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go. I think a lot of it too is what I'm getting is they don't like to see that debit come out, and they forgot about it. So I've just been, and I mean, I don't know how long I can keep doing this, and I've been telling all my other people to do the same. But I keep a book with everybody's subscriptions, wrote down when they ship. So I put like a week before on those people who are like that. I just say, well, I'm going to write your name down in my book and I will text you the week before. And that always puts a piece at them. Like I've done that twice this week. I've just to make sure they were okay with it still shipping, even though I'm like, please be okay with it shipping. But still, it just kind of, reminds them that they're going to have that debit coming out.
That is excellent customer service. And if you want to grow your business and become a Ruby in 2 months, do that. Excellent customer service, Terry. That's above and beyond. There's a reason why you're growing. Pam, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to share. I was just flipping through, looking for some different objections. So one I've gotten at different times is from people like, you know, oh, thanks. I love isogenics. That's what we're doing, and we're very happy with it. Thank you. Or Juice Plus, a lot of oils. So what I've done, and I mean, maybe this isn't the right thing. I've said, oh my gosh, you know, I'm so excited that you found something that works for you, but I'd love to just send you articles from time to time because we have groundbreaking science, and I always bring up the NASA doctor. And so I'll just keep sending them stuff, but I'm like staying really positive. Like, you know, I'm excited for you because I'm thinking maybe they're saying that, but maybe they're not having perfect results and they're just saying they are, you know, because I don't think like with isogenics and with Juice Plus, you're going to get as much as you would get with us. So I don't know, that's what I've done a little bit of.
Yeah, that's great, Pam. I love that. I mean, just keeping people in the loop and touching base with them, and encouraging them, and loving them. Because I guarantee you they're still following, you know, they're still seeing your stuff. And when they realize that they're not feeling their best or they still have X, Y, and Z, they're going to come. They all do. And that's okay. You know, it's okay.
Something April has taught me to do as well with that specific objection is she taught me to just say back, oh, that I'm so glad that you have found a product that is helping you feel so great. Can I ask, has it helped you to meet all of your health goals? And if you just ask, has it helped you with everything? Like, because I mean, our product literally gets to the root of everything, you know. So yeah, that's just something and then they may say yes, and if they do, well, great, then you keep going and follow up later, like Pam said, with an article or whatever, a different tool.
That's awesome. I love it. That's perfect. Well, any other thoughts on this fantastic chapter or questions? All righty, everybody. Well, thanks for this book study. I can't believe we only have a few more chapters left. And we'll see you all later. Have a great night.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Thank you.